was a really interesting trip going, and I hope I spurred some questions. I will take a couple right now, and then I'm standing between you, the door prizes, and the ice cream social, which is not a good thing. But during the ice cream social, if you want to come back in here, I will be here and I'll answer any questions you want to talk about in China. A couple things I will point out. Most of their harvest is done with a sickle. They cut the corn down, lay it on the ground, snap the ears off, put it in the trailer, haul it into town. You saw they husk it out into town, they lay it out to dry. There are a few machines, but if you saw the typhoon damage there, you couldn't even find the rows to use a machine. It was impossible. The corn was twisted, turned, laid over, all mixed together. When we were doing yield counts, just to find a row was quite a feat in itself. But it's done by hand, and their corn belt is as big as ours in the United States. Think about that. And they're going to harvest it by hand. And the farm size up there, when you see 2.5 to 5 acres, that's how big they are. And their risk is much bigger than ours. Their costs are pretty much the same. Fertilizer, seed, all that, expenses are the same. But think about it now. We lose some money if we have a bad year, right? We probably will survive. They have a bad year, they risk starvation. Their risk is a lot bigger than ours. And I'll take any question you want to ask me, and I'm trying not to talk too much. Yes?
Do they use corn forage silage in the feed program at
No.
all?
What they do is when they're done, they take all the stalks and all the straw from the field, they burn it in the winter for fuel. That's how they stay warm. Can you imagine standing by the furnace shoving corn stalks in to stay warm all winter? And the climate is where I was about like here. I was in Heilongjiang and Jilin, which was in the northern circle on the map there. Yes, sir?
What kind of moisture is it when they harvest?
The moistures were about like ours. We were seeing moistures from about 20 up to about 30, and it depended on where we were. But it's real similar right in Michigan here. The climate was almost identical. Yes?
The way storage looked like, it seemed like a prime opportunity for rodent population explosion.
Okay, I can tell you this, and I can't answer this for certain. There are no birds, no squirrels, no deer. I never saw a mouse or a rat or a bird or anything. The only thing I can tell you is we were told that they won't. When you have a population that large, you got to do everything that's possible. But we never saw him, not one. I can't take that back, I lied. I saw 2 crows one day and I saw 2 pheasants one day. Other than that, in the morning, I never heard anything. Yes, sir?
Is that their only source of income, or do they generate income for their family some other way than 5 acres?
No, it's their only source of income. If you live near a village or a city, you got a chance of selling fresh vegetables, which means you'd make a little more money. But the further you got away, the worse it was. I mean, when we got further out away from the villages and towns, you could see the villages. If you looked at the roofs of the villages, you could tell right away whether it was a good village or a poor village. If they had metal roofs and they were new, you knew it was okay. But if they didn't, that was pretty sad. It was bad. Anybody else? I take one more, or I'll stop. After we get the door prizes done, and after you get your ice cream, if you want to come back in, I'll answer anything you want to ask me about China, because I can tell you a lot of stuff. It was really interesting. I hope some of you can go someday.
What was amazing, a question I asked Ed is when they stopped at a farm to do the measurements, they just stopped. They really didn't ask.
You know, if I walked out in your cornfield and started breaking ears off in your cornfield, what would you say to me? Exactly. We were never questioned at all, anywhere.